us in just a minute. We have, this is vacation season, so we have we're down to 3 members, and nobody can take a vacation without impacting our schedule. I am looking for, where is that? Oh, here it is. Okay. So let's just open the meeting, even though we're waiting for Karen. And
Sure.
then we have, I should move this closer. We're being recorded. This meeting's being recorded and broadcast via our local cable access channel, WCAT, Zoom, Facebook, and YouTube. If anyone in the audience is recording, please let us know. And while we're waiting for Karen to join us, would you introduce yourself, because we have Cynthia Hill here in your...
Yes, good evening. My name is Norman Hill. I'm with the Company of Land Planning. I'm president of the company, and I'm a licensed professional engineer.
Okay, thank you. Norman, right?
Yes.
And we received lots of information from you today, you and Brian, and I'm just going to share my screen and pull up.
Yeah, I apologize for getting that in so late today.
Yeah, you know, it wasn't a lot of time. We're trying to help you turn this around,
Thank you.
but we also have, you know, there's still, there we go. I'm just going to go to the plans. Yeah, I mean, but there's just some outstanding. And, you know, one of the things that happened is that you guys got called into that 401 water quality situation with DEP, and they had to do the review.
Yes.
And what I anticipated is that you eventually would have gotten to us with the information that you needed, but we weren't on you to remind you to give us things, partly because we were concerned that if there were any changes, you would be duplicating efforts and spending money that you didn't need to spend. So, you know, waiting is good, but then now that you're ready, hi Karen. So we end up having,
Who's actually going to hold those meetings?
oh, who, we have a person who joined us.
Hello.
Hi Karen.
Hi, Karen.
Okay, so we do have quorum, so we can, oh, and Brian's here. We can officially open the hearing for, I'm looking for the official. Where is it? Lot B, Crouch Road.
3B.
3B. Oh my gosh. I have a visual with that thing.
Yes, good evening. So we did hear from Michael McHugh today, and his letter came to all of us, and it says that a 401 quality certificate is not required for this project.
Right.
Also, there was a lot of concern about the proposed replication area. So we went out to the site and we dug a hole in the area that we were proposing for replication. And we didn't hit any miles until about 2 feet deep, and then the soils became damp and we dug deeper. But what we've done is, that middle screen at the bottom, it shows the proposed replication area. And so what we've done is, we're going to take it down below the level of the brook, and then fill it up to about the level of the brook and keep it level. That entire area that's dotted is all going to be kept level, and then replanted. And we've listed the plants that we're proposing to plant there. And then there's a 1-on-3 slope going back up from there, which would be planted with upland mix. So this is quite a big change from what we had before. I think this all is an improvement. And we will monitor this after it's built. And also we put sufficient controls on either side of the access to this strip. And then that access would be seated as well.
Right.
And, I'm sorry?
Yeah, I was just gonna try to pull that one up. Oh, here we go. I could just zoom in, you know, so I'm gonna do this so if anybody happens to be watching after. All right, so what you did is you have erosion control that goes along this way
Yes,
and around the replication, and once it's finished, you'll close this off.
we will, okay, all right.
Just so it's completely isolated from any activity that would take place up gradient. It really all depends on when you're able to do the replication. You know, if this area is finished and stabilized before your replication is in, then it probably doesn't make too much of a difference. But if you're still doing work, we'd like you to, you know, make sure it's sealed up.
Absolutely, we agree to do that, yep.
So just for,
We also dug a hole in the proposed fill area and logged the species of plants that we saw in both places. And that information has been provided at the last second. I apologize again. Thank you for being here tonight, Phil.
yes, well, hopefully we can figure out, so, I mean, ultimately, what you said, in some documentation is that you, there's ferns, which you didn't say, but you said mostly it's skunk cabbage, and that's probably true.
Yes.
Skunk cabbage and ferns.
Yeah, there are a lot of saplings. I think what might be happening as the tree seeds land during the spring, they get washed away. But now they're all taken about a foot tall, but they'll probably won't survive the winter again, and then they'll start again next year. There are a lot of saplings in that area, but
Right. Oop. Oh, interesting, okay. So some of the things that we were looking for with the filing, which you may have submitted in paper. Do you have the paper copy, Corinne? That we didn't get, and one of them is your wetland field data forms that would back up your delineations. So we didn't get those electronically, but you may have submitted them, and that's.
yeah, I believe they were submitted in paper and electronically.
The electronic application that I have, I can show you on the, am I sharing this screen? You can see it, right?
Yes, I
Yeah.
can say, yeah.
Let me,
It would be through the DEP portal.
yeah, through the DEP portal. So this is,
Yeah.
that's not it. Sorry.
And I think it was done again.
Oh, here we go. So this is the notice of intent that was emailed to me. And it's the wetland map. It includes, you know, the habitat. It includes a bunch, this is what, you know, this is all it included, but there's no field data forms.
No, I didn't see it there, I'm sorry.
Did Melissa send it again?
Not that I mean,
It
she,
should be from mrudge@landplanninginc.com. She said she sent them, and then she said she sent them again.
not today.
Do you see mrudge? You can search for MRUDGE.
MRUD.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it.
Is there the newest?
This is us superseding.
There's nothing new?
Nothing new, and the last time I received something was back from, Corinne, but let me look
Well,
at,
she showed me an email that she had sent it, and then she said she would do it again, and do it finish off her.
let me, I'm going up. Sorry, I'm stuck on this. No. So maybe, Corinne, did you get something? Maybe she sent it to Corinne and not to me?
You want me to go check now? Because I didn't get anything since last week.
You didn't get anything today?
I didn't look today. I just came in today because it's only Tuesday.
Oh, right.
So you want me to go check?
Well, it's partly what we, some of these things we need. What else did you have her send today, Brian?
She said she resent it yesterday, but then she had also showed me a copy of the email she sent previously on it, so.
Did you get copied on it?
It's on my desk. It's sitting on my desk.
You don't have, you weren't copied.
She printed me off a copy, I actually.
You didn't get electronically copied, like CC'd on it, because no, we don't have that. So we would need the field data forms. We never received a narrative at all from you guys, which is,
I emailed a narrative today.
well, you emailed a document that, well, okay, we have designed a wetland crossing using a box culvert. Okay, I mean, that's, a site plan which shows proposed driveway. Existing wetland is a small, I mean, part of the thing. And at filing, when we typically get a filing, there's usually a narrative that explains how you're meeting, the requirements of the act. That the stream is 2.5 feet wide, the culvert is, 2.5 times bankfull width at this dimension. Here's the data. We're looking for data to support what you're doing. And I know that you may have done a lot of this with already with DEP, but if you just forwarded me that information, we would have it.
So we did address the stream crossing standards to show that we meet them all. That information was submitted with the original submission, I believe.
Again, we have a Form 3 that's filled out, but we have no, it just talks about, and this one is a little outdated because it says that you're putting in a box culvert and you're impacting bank and land under body of water, which you're not doing, so that needs to be updated.
Right.
Again, a narrative, a paragraph, a couple of lines that are telling us how you're meeting.
The stream stats, the stream crossing standards, yes. We've got that prepared. I'm shocked that you don't have that. We should have the wetland delineation forms as well.
Corinne, will you go check? Corinne's gonna go check to see if
I
she
think I have,
has that, but I went through, you sent me, I have a bunch of emails that you sent. I've downloaded everything into my files, and everything is open here except for,
I think I have emails from Melissa from July 2nd. I have the updated NOI, I just forwarded it to you. I don't know why you don't have it, I thought it was sent to you as well. I didn't keep it out of there.
all right, Brian.
I wrote a brief project narrative when I heard that you didn't have a project narrative, which I thought was sent to you, so, and Norman did send to you, so. For a second there, I thought you didn't have our project narrative.
I don't. Is there an attachment on this, or is this?
I think you didn't get the forwarded email yet from Melissa. I think maybe check the inbox.
okay, I understand that you are doing this to some degree. We want you to tell us how you're doing it.
Sure.
And I'm assuming that was done in your, these are really the foundational things. You've said that you have done this so many times.
Yes.
And my expectation is that the minimum requirements that we need are a simple paragraph saying that we're meeting this by putting in a bottomless culvert that is 2.5 times bankfull width
I just sent you a narrative that said that we're meeting the Massachusetts stream crossing standards
Yeah.
with the crossing.
Yeah, that's all it's saying. I can say that too.
I tried to keep it simple to a paragraph.
Right,
And
but
explain all the ways in which we were minimizing impacts and.
the paragraph that you
providing-
just sent didn't, it just said that we're meeting the standards. I mean, I could say that I'm a millionaire, but I have to prove it somehow. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the standards are the standards. If we meet the standards, we meet the standards. It's like a septic design, you take it to the Board of Health, if it passes, if it meets the regulations, it's approved. When it comes to the standards of a stream crossing, it's not a question of, it doesn't meet the standard. It's not a flexible standards, it's black and white. 5 foot, 8 foot, it meets the standards with and the information is
Yeah,
provided.
I hear what
on
you're
the
saying,
plan.
but that is not typically,
I was trying to keep it to
Yeah, that's
a
not
paragraph
typically-
and not write a symphony.
it doesn't have to be like a whole symphony.
Yeah, right.
What are the basic standards that are being met? What are you doing to meet those standards? That is what you have to
Right.
say, we are doing this to meet the standards. Just a simple brief, so when I go look at the plan, I'm gonna go
Right.
reinforce it by looking at the plan.
Can you,
Can I bring up the plan?
or the email, I mean, I'd like to read the email, at least for the record.
The email that you just
Yeah,
sent.
I mean, it's a great introduction.
All right, it's, okay,
Sure.
If you wanna read it?
Into the record, yeah, sure.
yes, okay.
So, Land Planning Inc., as representatives of Dennis Cahalan, owner of Lot 3B Crouch Road, we've been contracted to present these site plans for a single-family home. We have explored many design options, and this is the best option to minimize impacts to both the wetland and to the buffer zones, which also provides a safe driveway. Our plans provide a stream crossing that exceeds the general design per Massachusetts stream crossing standards and a sustainable wetland replication design suited to the ecosystem. We are proud of our design on this difficult site. Sincerely, Brian Hill. So it was meant to be very brief and simple and talk about minimizing the impacts to the wetland, minimizing impacts to the buffer zone. And this replication design, which I think if we run through it, I think you'll see it's much more suited to the ecosystem.
Okay,
So Norman and I visited this site on Sunday,
yeah?
and we did a test pit. I had this a little bit bigger at first. The design was meant, I dug it at the highest point of the replication because I wanted to get to the driest part, highest above the stream where it would be the driest.
Right,
And we found sandy soil, and we didn't really see models until 2 feet. We started to see some models, but it wasn't flooded or anything. So we took this all into consideration, and we decided that it would be better to connect the replication area to the hydrology of the stream. So we've gone with a much flatter profile in the hydrology. And I provided the wetland flag elevation shots and some of the bank elevation shots and some of the we've revised the wetland here per your our site walk and your comments. This is that stone wall at the top of that slope,
yeah,
and this is that depression here. And the wetland line runs more along to the bottom of the slope, and then up, and here's the seat at the top. So I've hung a flag here at this spot and a flag here, D2-1 and D2-2. And that was per your recommendations, but also you'll see the toe slope runs straight along and then out to the wetland. So you can see this is the current wetland contour, and that current wetland contour stays really flat out and then down and matches the bottom slope down here. So this is more of a floodplain of the stream, a provided floodplain of the stream, which is more suitable because the impacted area is flat and adjacent to the stream. It doesn't slope up the hill. It doesn't run up the hill. And like what you were saying with the seep is not, necessarily the water table everywhere. But we did find seasonal high groundwater at 2 feet. So, we're convinced that we're well into groundwater.
Can you point out where the existing wetland is?
So the wetland line on the original plan was here, this line. And we, when we did the site walk, this is the flag you thought was generous. This is the top of slope shots in here. The top of slope runs around here.
Right.
This is that stone wall.
Yeah?
And you thought this connection from this flag to this flag was generous. So we hung that flag per your recommendations at the toe of slope and up to the seat and up to the seat. So we reevaluated this area
Okay,
and fixed that mistake. So we have these two flags here. And then you'll notice that this contour here is now runs out here, but instead it now runs straight along and over here, so that this entire replication area runs at roughly the same elevation as this adjacent wetland area. So it's a much flatter profile, and we have if you zoom out over here, we have the profile
Yeah, hold on a
that you
second.
were asking for.
Move this.
And, here's the section line before we leave. There's your section line. And the reason we did it here is because this is the narrowest part. The stream is actually fairly flat between these two contours, but the next two contours are closer together, so the stream picks up slope, and it's really flat here. So this is going to be really flat from that flat part of that stream where it chokes off here
yeah?
at the narrow part. So if there was an area for flooding, that would be the area for flooding. From there's a rock by this IS2 flag.
Okay,
That's what that river bends around.
section AA, I was wondering what that was.
So section AA, if you look down just below here, here's section AA.
Right here.
Yeah, so the channel is actually narrower here, 3 feet.
Oh, I see,
yeah.
okay.
And that's also part of the reason we did it here, because it's the narrowest, it's like the choke point. And this is 10 to 1. So 1 unit this way is 10 this way. They stretch it out so you can see the dip. So you can see the replication soils in here. This is about 12 inches of replication soils shown here. The excavation for the side slope. It's stretched out vertical because it's to exaggerate the slopes.
Excavated slope, 705 is, and what's the 705 elevation?
Well, this is 5 units. This is 5 feet of elevation. It's 5 feet
So
of
right now,
elevation.
what elevation, when you dig in, what elevation do you hit water?
So you can see on this cross section here, the 704 comes up, and I was messing with this darn channel thing. It really does. It's more like that. It doesn't do this jagged thing in the channel. And then the 705 is all the way. The 705 is here, and the 706 is all the way up here. 704, 706. This is about 70 feet. That's really flat. 2 feet over 70. No, it's even. Yeah, it's really far. 2 feet over 80 feet, so it's really flat. And we have the 705. We have the 1 foot contours in the replication area. But if you go back to the profile, you can see in the profile, what I wanted to point out was how flat the replication soils are. So this is the existing slope up in here.
Right.
And then this is the excavated slope, and then the wetland soils are down in here at be below 705.
Right, okay.
Between 8 to 12. We made a lot of changes over, and then we revised all the plantings here.
Yeah, saw that, that looks good.
And we also did an upland replication, this note here, and that's part of the planting detail. This note here, I would take note of this note and this note and this note. Yeah, so it's and if you look through the notes, we've handled the invasive species in the wetland fill area.
Oh, right, that you're going to remove the invasive species and either get it off-site or just get it out of the wetland area.
It's all on that one sheet. All the replication stuff is just on that.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
it's just
like,
all on the sheet.
let me find my way around
The
this
notes
thing.
are to the
Oh,
right
there we
here,
go.
yeah,
Okay.
So we talk about the Japanese barberry that's in the,
Yeah.
it's overhanging the crossing area. And there's, all these notes are fixed, I believe, to, I highlighted this one here.
Yeah,
We also have this, you know, are they conflicting? They're not conflicting, are they?
no, the only thing that I was, alternative soils may be supplemented for this purpose. I highlighted it for me because as part of our conditions, you're going to have to submit like soils data. You're gonna let us know why you're choosing the soils that you're choosing. Typically, you need to submit it to us now and have that data before we approve. Typically, you have your ducks in a row and you're ready to go and do it right away. Like, done. Because, you
So I
know,
mean, they find a topsoil supplier and then they have something for you.
well, it's, because it's a wetland,
Yeah,
you are likely going to have to supplement the B layer, and the C layer, I'm assuming, is gonna be fine, but may or may not be, so does it need to be supplemented, and then the top layer is like 50-50, organic and mineral or something, top of my head, I don't know what it is, but,
well, I mean, we went 8 to 12 on the topsoil and,
8 to 12 inch,
and yeah, and the soil is a sandy soil, so, I mean, it'll be loose just from the excavation on the sandy soil. It wasn't tight, it was very friable.
oh, it was, okay. And then, like, the content
It
of
wasn't
the,
it wasn't dense till, it wasn't compacted, cemented sand or anything like that.
all right,
Yeah, I got down.
I'm trying to like visualize where we were, but,
I had trouble getting down in the wetland test pit. I just kept hitting boulders.
oh, yeah,
But I believe I got to 38, 40, something like that. And it was coarse sand in there.
okay.
You could make cannonballs.
Really?
Oh yeah. I like bog iron's interesting.
Pack it in,
That's
you
how they
fire
make the
it?
cannonballs with the bog iron. Yeah.
Really?
I learned that in a soil class.
Nice. And then you fire it up and then it gets rock hard, or do you just let it dry?
I don't know. I've never made them. I don't know. New project.
New project,
New
something
project.
to
I,
try.
like signing up for my the what is it, the 8 conservation classes on the MACC,
Yeah,
which I'm planning on doing. I think I'm planning on doing.
so can you tell,
September, I believe.
oh, yeah. You might see Karen, because Karen's still taking a bunch of classes. Are there any changes on, sheet 3? That
I
you
mean, not really. Just so the topography, I had some contour smoothing, and I fixed that, and I fixed my brake lines a little bit, and yeah, I'm much happier with the contours. It was just rounding things and blending it a little bit much. And you notice, like down in it fixed a lot of my problems. So yeah, the shots were already there. I mean, I think I have like 25,000 points on the lot, but something like that. 600 or 500 something are mine, that, not the other.
All right.
The LiDAR data is pretty interesting.
And then this one is, what is this one? It's the stream crossing, erosion control,
Yeah, there wasn't really, I mean, you can just see the test pit locations. Yeah,
Of the
you know,
fill
but,
area.
Yeah, I mean, you can see test pit 1 in the wetland,
yep,
you know. But other than that, I don't think really there's anything here. I tried to keep the replication area thing one area so you know, keep it easy for you to see everything on the replication.
oh, you did a test pit under
Under the fill area,
the fill area too? Was it, was it comparable to,
it was a little bit more topsoil, it was 6 inches instead of 4 inches, and then the B layer was, it was more coarse sand rather than fine sand. So it was fine sand out of the wetland and coarse sand in the wetland.
are they different wetland systems? Because I know you have an A and a B, and I didn't really actually look closely at that.
No, it was the identical soil. It was within one color of the, I think it was faded like one color grayer than the
Okay.
septic design.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Although I had trouble finding sun.
Well, right,
With the
yeah.
months, I'm
Well,
trying to
you know,
find
if you're comparing it both under shade, it doesn't make a
It's
difference.
so dark in there.
Right, as long as you're using the same light to view it in. That's all that matters. Mostly. Okay. So this is what I'm gonna, Karen, are you there? Where's Karen?
Yes, I am. I'm here.
Hi there, I'm still a Luddite with this thing. Let me try to move, here we go. There we go.
I just might have a copy of that field data sheet. Can I just? Like,
If you have the field,
I just-
go get it.
Like, let me just.
Absolutely.
I'm pretty sure about that.
We're looking for the field data sheets.
Anything on your end? Nothing.
No emails, we've got none. Brian's looking for the field data sheets.
Okay.
So after doing we received this kind of late today, and I know that I didn't even email it to you guys, so I did a quick look, and the thing that would be missing, which I would be amenable to, moving forward and with the project, as long as you get it to us, and just putting language in, just saying, like, if we don't receive this information by, what day is today?
Tuesday.
Tuesday, if we don't receive it by Friday, you're gonna have to come back before us, otherwise we'll consider it approved with a post date. We would like the field data forms to support your wetland delineation, and I still want not only a flat-out statement that you're meeting the standards, I need to know how you're doing it. And it doesn't have,
We'll get that to you soon, yeah.
again, it doesn't have to be complicated. What Brian wrote is fine, and it's good, but just say these are the basic things that you did. You chose the location to meet two things. You're spanning a stream. You replaced a box culvert with an open bottom culvert that is, tell me what the bank, the stream width is and what the bank full width is. Give me some data.
And the openness ratio, yeah.
Yeah, exactly, the openness ratio, thank you. And then like in the basic narrative, this is a single family home, the driveway, how much of it is in buffer? How close is the closest part of your house to the buffer? To the wetland? And, I'm looking at a plan, if I have a plan and I can measure most of it, and I know that ultimately you are literally bumping up right against the wetland with your
riprap, but the house and the living space
Mhm.
is something that we are always interested in. It, you know, I say I'm not looking for a lot, but clearly I am. Sorry. Just give us a picture of what's happening on the site, so when somebody else, if somebody else picks this up, they know what's happening.
We'll have this to you this week. Yeah.
That would be fantastic.
Never heard that last.
Karen, is there
Yes.
anything else that Philip and Karen that you,
No, that's good for me. Definitely the field data sheet.
I agree, it's good with me.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is, this is a little weird and a little kludgy, but since we have a 3-person board that really should be 5, and it is vacation season, we're gonna do this thing where we're going to, make a motion to close the hearing
pending,
and move forward with it, pending our receipt of that information.
Thank you very much.
and if we don't receive the information, we're gonna reopen the hearing, and I don't even know if that's actually allowed, but we're gonna just put language in and say we're gonna do that.
Yeah.
That's fine.
So you ready for a motion?
I'm ready for a motion.
All right, so make a motion to close the hearing pending receipt of requested information, field data sheet, narrative, and anything else discussed tonight that we have not received. If that's not received by the end of the week, can we reopen? I suppose we'll reopen the hearing, continue until next meeting?
Yep.
So, in fact, I'll give you to the 14th, Monday the 14th instead.
Monday the 14th?
Close it. Both ends of the cross.
Karen?
I second it.
Okay. All in favor?
I, Philip Woodford.
Hi, Karen Dusty.
Aye, Joyce Ihawker. Okay,
Thank you. Hope you stay well. I'll get that to you this week for sure.
Excellent.
Thank you.
would be fantastic. So this is, we're gonna wait to receive your information. We have conditions to write,
Yeah.
and you'll be contacted when they are complete. Where do we mail them to? Do we mail them to you?
Yeah, to Land's Planning, 214 Worcester Street in Grafton.
Okay.
North Grafton, 01536. Thank you. Everyone stay well. Thank you.
Thank you as well.
Oh, North Grafton, fantastic. Okay,
I think
so
Brian's
did you
still
get
up.
that? We'll mail it to the representative as opposed to the landowner. So the second address. Okay, while we're waiting for Brian, I am gonna stop sharing. And then I'm going to share. Karen, you're outside.
I am.
Good for you.
My husband and my sister started talking, and then I hear you, but.
All right, I am looking how to. My view, I'm trying to shrink the screen. Ah, there it is. Okay. I want to be able to pull up, which I should have done. Give me a second. My brain has to remember where I put. No. for stormwater, stream crossing, wetlands, stormwater document, sorry. Concom, special conditions, yes. Special conditions. All right, let me. You can't see this, Karen. I'm gonna pull this up, share. All right, can you see that?
It's loading. Yep.
Sorry, let me move this. Okay, and then I need to figure out where to put this so I can go down. All right, I'm gonna file, save as. What is this, 1B, since I get this wrong?
3B.
3B Crouch Road. Okay. So the site-specific conditions, I'm gonna fill in some stuff here for the wetland replication.
Mm-hmm.
That we want, so how frequently do we want them to send us a monitoring report?
How often do we typically do that?
Quarterly.
Is that quarterly?
Well, I mean, the growing season is only active for a very short period of time.
Mm.
So let's say they plant in September. Do we want them to? I'm not supposed to be asking you any information. So whenever they plant, we want to maybe have a monthly. or-
Throughout the growing season, monthly?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's not a bad.
and then after that,
We don't need it in the winter.
We don't need it.
No.
Season, for the first full season.
Hmm.
And then the second
season,
when things are established,
Yeah, an update in the spring after the winter to make sure stuff is still alive and it comes back. And then possibly,
one spring, how about one, so that would be like May,
yeah,
one in August, and then one October.
sure.
And that should be the end of the second year, October, November.
Yeah.
We'll just say October, and then we'll get a report. The wetland replication, we need, I think there's a section in here, but we'll look at it later. A wetland scientist, we're gonna be asking you for a resume from your wetland scientist. We need somebody with experience and just proof of it.
Well, we have one for Norman, and he's done it for, almost 40 years.
Yeah, so,
And he's got all sorts of certifications, he's just losing his mobility. And so we had a new guy training, and it's not working, and so we're moving to the next steps, and we're kind of like, so we have one.
so when you have the
Yeah.
person,
Yeah.
we just want their cred
Mhm.
in writing, and then, before you start doing the work.
Well, Norman just shot a 44, and he walked down on a wetland one day, so we do have one. So we do have Norman, and we can send you his resume, that's not a problem.
Yeah, I mean, honestly,
Absolutely.
almost anybody can do the work. We just want the important work to be overseen, as in when you're digging down to the soils and making sure that,
Oh, and you know, if he wants to hire a different wetland scientist at that time, he can, so that, like, it's a
Right.
oversight, whoever's
again,
available,
give
right.
us the cred.
Perfect.
We just want the cred, and then
Perfect.
that is a condition that's in there. Did you find your sheets?
I didn't, but you know what, I realized that, Norman did today submit the first, report of the
He
area,
did that
replication area, which has a lot of the data on it, and transect as well.
We
So
just,
have-
yeah, we just want like,
And we-
okay,
yeah.
upland, like, it's really kind of like the basic foundation, but these are, like, this is upland because you were,
Yeah,
were
well, I
you doing it
apologize
visually
because-
with the plants? Did
Yeah.
you do soils?
Well, I apologize because we did it, we sent it and.
So, like we said,
And it didn't have soils. It
you're
did not have
good to
soils.
go. We are moving forward with the project and we'll reverse moving forward. So as long as we receive the field data forms
Mhm.
and a more detailed,
Mhm.
introduction narrative that has like, tell me how you're meeting the standards
Sure.
by Monday.
Okay,
And if we don't get it by Monday, then we're reversing our decision.
okay, no worries. Perfect.
Okay?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
All right.
I appreciate that.
You're out looking, but we
Vacation will be more relaxing.
we vote. Oh, where are you going, by the way?
Oh, God, I'm going to Ocean City and Delaware, Maryland.
Ah.
Maryland.
All right. Nice.
I'm going to the golf course.
I was gonna ask you if you could do some.
My first 18 of the year. I'm super excited.
Karen's
Only took
actually
until
up.
July.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Said it only took until July.
Yeah, I'm going for the full 36.
Exactly. All right, so failure to comply, all right, that's standard, failure to submit payments and fees. Public notice, peer review shall be deemed, all right, I'm leaving that one in. Work shall proceed in strict accordance to the plan. Violation of these conditions shall be subject to, is it easier to look this way?
It's tough to look both ways.
I know it is. Enforcement shall include citations, all right, just, application. No work shall proceed, okay, that's pretty standard. Reserves the right to impose additional conditions, number 7. The applicant shall notify Concom in writing 1 month prior to commencement of earth moving on site. 1 month. All right. That was for the last project. We're gonna say like 5 working days. I don't think that we really care about this, right?
No.
No.
And there's no sweat, less. Arrange a date for inspection of erosion control measures. Yeah, we still wanna go and check out. Wetland flagging shall remain in place. Sediment barriers are straw, not hay. That's pretty standard, 12.
Mhm.
Sediment barriers shall be inspected daily. Do we wanna make that weekly?
Sure.
Sedimentation barriers shall remain in proper functioning. Silt fence. You don't really have a butters, right?
Well, vacant
I mean, you don't have anybody living there.
land.
Yeah. Immediately after installing erosion control, the commissioner, all right. There are so many places where we say we have to go in and give you a thumbs up. The sediment barrier shall be inspected. We already have that, that's kind of interesting. These are all just thrown in. You know what, this like sums it up. I'm just gonna do this. And maybe remove the other ones. I'm just going quickly on this.
we're not gonna hire a licensed erosion control specialist. So this is going to be,
Looks like the rest of them are all that.
all right, during construction. Responsible for the project's completion will be notified. All right, the developer. Well, it's gonna be hard, so we're gonna say 50 feet. How hard is it on that site, do you think, to keep it further away?
I mean, the whole backyard's over 100, so I don't think it's that hard. But I think when they first start, they're gonna have to be working up by the road, and that's about 50 or 60 or 70, depending where they're parked.
All right, this is all pretty standard. No salt or sodium chloride should be used. I'm just gonna go down to the permanent for a second. There's a whole replication, stormwater management, permanent. I'm just gonna do. I'll fix that. Where were we? Oh,
I
50.
think we're right here.
100?
Sure.
Can you do that? Is that feasible? Dumpster?
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
I'm assuming you're not gonna blast there, but should I leave that in? Or do you have any?
I think the deepest cut is like 6 feet, and that's if they can get it. They don't need it.
Jurisdictional areas that will be temporarily impacted, stake flags, areas of temporary impacts. This is for a big project. This is not a huge project, so we're gonna be, shall be landscape and stabilized. What is the standard for that? You know, it's like 7 to 14 days, and it's going to be, the whole site is steep because it's steep.
Yeah. I mean, the proposed grades in the yard are still fairly steep, you know, 1 on, 2 on 10, 2 on 12, stuff like that.
Okay. And construction. Sorry, Karen, we're just reading this.
You're fine, I'm reading it also.
Okay, replication. This is questionable, I think that we will. Just gonna say, update, we'll have the, the language about just the wetland, there's like data forms for wetland, when you just go out, that's all we need, is like a quick checklist, some photographs. This is looking good. We don't need to have like, except for maybe once a season, a growing season, from the wetland scientist to go
Mhm.
out and check. But the landowner, the homeowner can just go down and say, these things are, as long as they're like
also allowed.
checking.
Yeah.
And then pulling, so I'll change that language just to make it, we're not trying to kill you guys, but we do want somebody to make sure, we wanna make sure that somebody's going down there and pulling invasives
Right. Yep.
and doing the work. And it could be the homeowner, it could be you, it could be Joe's Garden Center, it could be somebody, as long as somebody's doing the work.
You should hire me, I'm an expert weed puller.
Okay,
Shovel first, then
all right, there's no stormwater management.
The shovel saves you back.
just get it once, no wiggle, hit it from the roots. Easy, every time,
Giving away your secrets.
every time.
Yeah, but see, Instagram and TikTok does that now too,
No, I figured this one out, maybe I should do a hack and.
right? You do a little TikTok channel before it goes away in
You know those dandelions?
January again.
And they do.
Yeah, dandelions, you can eat them all,
I
right?
love
I
dandelions.
actually tried it right out of the yard, fresh, and I was like, whatever, let's do this.
I love dandelions. I don't eat the roots generally, but you make wine out of that, right?
Yeah, I've had
Dandelion root
dandelion
wine.
It's good.
Love dandelions.
I just found out I'm allergic to everything, so I'm like, okay.
Can you do dandelions?
Yeah.
Nice. Big Y sells dandelion greens.
But
I
you
didn't
can
know
dip it
that.
in anything.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Karen, the one in Ware, which is usually awful, they have this little section with the most amazing mushrooms, not just like the cardboard box, like criminy, awful mushrooms. They have a nice selection like lion's mane and interesting mushrooms. They have dandelion greens and some interesting greens. It's kind of blows my mind.
Interesting.
Yeah. Not at Hannaford's though. All right. Written provision preventing filling of any portion of the wetlands. All right. No herbicide, pesticides, fertilizers, or chemical lawn maintenance procedures shall be used with 100 feet. Maintenance of culverts. There is no culvert. What do you call that space?
Box culvert, I mean, it's still. a
Yeah,
box
okay.
culvert.
Yeah, I mean, that's like if they get a big branches, they should.
Yeah.
Maintenance or repair of detention basins. I don't think that you guys have that. Conservation, assume an annual O&M. I don't think you guys are at that level of construction. All right, no salt or de-icing chemical shall be used on this site. It's a steep driveway.
Within good regulations though, we didn't go into California 20% diet.
Is that what they do out there?
Yeah,
California?
we maxed it at 14,
It's still pretty steep.
yeah,
Oh,
14 is, we maxed it at 14. We used the mountain, the Ashton Mountain, Mountainous Road Design guidebook.
yeah,
The
I saw
vertical-
that. I don't,
Vertical curves, it's actually really hard. That's a K of 3 and 9. K, 9 in the sag and 3 at the crest. And it barely gives you a nice flat spot at the top for parking, I mean, and at the road for driving out. Like, it's not like this at the road, it has the shape.
they have a flat place to park at the top?
Right, right, yeah. And out by the garage, yeah, you don't go into the garage like this, you go into the garage with a nice shape,
Like-
with a nice flat.
With a
And
nice,
a little bit of room, like 4% for exactly one car parking spot. So grandma doesn't have to walk on, 12% pitch in the ice when she comes to visit.
right? All right.
Yeah, I didn't realize they did 20% driveways in California. That's,
Yeah.
Well, we've got a couple here in Warren on Bridge Street. Go down Bridge Street and take a look at some of those driveways. I don't know how they do it in the winter.
yeah, now that you
They're-
mention it. I
You
guess
know.
Southbridge Road has a couple too.
Well, AI likes to spit out random stuff and send you a lot of loose chases, so you see stuff like that. It's a powerful tool.
What do we think about salt or sodium chloride?
It's mentioned up there, de-icing chemicals, right?
Yeah, I could just be. All right, is there anything else that would be on that particular site that would be permanent? I'm going down. Okay,
I don't think so.
all right. This is not. Gosh, darn it. Ooh, did you see that? Okay. I'm saving this. Okay, so. We're gonna do a wonky, motion. You ready for this one? You can just say so be it. I'm gonna wing this, Karen. You ready?
Yep.
Okay. In the event that we receive all the information that we need, the outstanding information by Monday, July 14th, we will issue the order of conditions that are written here, which will be updated and fine-tuned by me, just to get rid of the, cross my i's and, dot the t's.
So be it.
Okay, second?
Second.
All in favor?
I, Philip Woodford.
Aye, Karen Dusty.
Aye, Joyce Ihawker. All right. This is good. All right, so your project with a caveat is approved.
Great.
We just need more info from you
Yep.
by Monday the 14th, or Norman,
I've
or,
sent emails, I've already set timers and reminders.
so just, yeah, get us that information, otherwise it's going to, dissolve. It's gonna be like a Harry Potter, you know, something.
That won't happen.
Yeah, and then, once that happens, these things will be ready to go. And as long as we have that information ready to go, I suspect I don't need anything else. A final copy of the final plans, if we could have that for the office, if you'd send that
Oh,
along.
paper copy, yeah.
Pa-
drop it,
Yeah,
drop it
if
off.
you could send a paper copy for our files,
Sure.
that's always, yeah,
Okay.
just one final, yeah,
Beautiful.
okay.
Thank you guys.
All right,
Have a nice night.
all right, thank you, Brian.
Enjoy your vacation.
Karen, thank you.
You're welcome.
Enjoy, say hi to Jim and thank him.
Motion
All
to
right,
adjourn.
will do. Do we need to do minutes or anything, or,
No,
payroll?
no? I think that would,
Just vote on a motion to adjourn, right?
yep, motion to adjourn,
Second?
Aye.
all in favor?
Aye, Philip Woodford.
Aye, Karen Dusty.
Aye, Joyce Ihawker. All right,
All
enjoy.
right, thanks, guys.
Yep, thank
Have a good
you.
week.
Bye.